Hello, thank you so much for speaking with us today, Dr. Meng Lee. I'm really looking forward to this conversation to learn more about your very decorated career and the journey that brought you here today. So, to start off with, I'd like to go a bit into your background and the guiding principles that led you here today. You, of course, are a survivor of the Khmer Rouge. Then, you were raised and educated in the United States before returning to Cambodia and starting your company here in 2005. And now you've become a leading entrepreneur, philanthropist, and figure in Cambodia's business community. It's a very long and remarkable journey. So I'd love to know what are some of the core principles that helped guide you down this life path?
I always tell my young folk in Cambodia that whatever you do what you're good at and what you know of, and be focused and be persistent, and never give up. And what you do, be honest and play fair game, and that's what is most important. So always pay attention to what you do and make sure that you commit to it, and that is the best way. But very important is that do what you're good at and what you know of. Otherwise, you're just going to waste a lot of energy and time and money.
Right, of course. I think those are really the most core principles that anyone can take on in their life, regardless of what sector that they're in. Of course, in this long journey, you must have faced a lot of big challenges. So, what would you say were some of the biggest challenges that you faced establishing your company nearly 20 years ago, and how did you overcome them?
Well, 2 decades ago, 10 decades ago, and now are quite different, very different. Cambodia have changed drastically for the past 20 years. When I studied this business, Cambodian laws, rules and regulations way in back somewhere nowhere. And I remember the most difficult part for most people who are open business is not about doing business. Any business you start, you will survive and you will make it if there's no problem with the rule, regulation, and authority. Most of the problem that we are facing and that's most obstacle that led to many bankruptcy is the rule and regulation from the authority. We don't have one single authority coming. We have multiple authority coming from nowhere, and usually demanding for payment. It's more like mafia at that time, and we can't blame the government because it's almost like in heyday that time. We don't know who's and who. They come for under the table money from different organizations and different ministry, claiming to be this department, this ministry, that ministry, and it's quite distressing. And a lot of people go in bankruptcy because of that. A lot of people cry out, and that is the most difficulty, most obstacle in succeeding in the business. And for me, maybe I'm a foreigner that time, and that's what is my most challenging problems that I face. As regarding to doing the business itself is not a problem, and competing. Cambodians are very savage in competing cutthroat. Whatever you do, they will drag you down. And even schools, they brought people and throw stone at night, break glasses, and then they bring gangster to disturb your schools. Back and forth, it's so many horrendous things that happened at that time. Sometimes it's unbelievable. 20 years ago when you talk and to other country, it's still a surprise and quite a shock to many people. And just like the rule and regulations under the table demands for paying this that, you were to say now, people would just be shocked, say how could that be, and it's impossible. But that's possible at that time, and that's what a lot of people went through to the difficulty. And the second problems, then the most difficult part for us is fund. Very difficult in secure fund that time. Either you have your own fund saving or your parents are rich, they have money to support you, or you have to have real estate to put in the bank. Uh, but the latter one is very difficult. People don't have property at that time. Unless you stay here in Cambodia, you live here in Cambodia, your parents are rich and you have a lot of property, then you put mortgages to get loan. But for me, as a foreigner, come to Cambodia for just only 3 years, it's quite new to me. Everything is quite new. The language, the cultures, the rules and regulation policy, it's quite a shock to me. So to me, I find it's very challenging and difficult. to survive just the culture itself. But as time goes by, I learned how to pick it up here and there, and then assimilate myself to the culture here, and easy to catch up as I'm also a Cambodian American. It's just a matter of time that I pick it up. So, but eventually we made through to this far.
Right, of course. And I mean, you've made it like so high up as well. And I think a lot of the foreigners who arrive today would definitely be surprised to hear that, because Cambodia has come so far in terms of its regulations and development and its investment landscape. It's really like changed completely.
Look at the tax system at that time. We don't know who to pay tax to. We don't know where it's from. We don't know what is the requirement. So we keep paying so many people for with no reasons, and that is big headache that time. So we end up paying a lot, and eventually we end up being fined for tax accused of not being paid. So this is also a problem at that time. So a lot of people are freaked out, very fearful of being after for paying taxes that fine 2, 3 times, 10 times what you owe. And you don't know if you owe or not, because there's no way of knowing exactly, because there's no proper tax system that time.
Right, right, of course. I think, yeah, the regulations being now more developed is one of the greatest achievements here in Cambodia.
Now it's not about tax problems, or people are not paying tax. Yeah, the system in place now.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. And I think what makes your success even more remarkable is that your work really spans across various fields, of course, education, also health and social services. So how do you balance all these different areas and interests, and what do you think continues to drive those interests forward and your commitment to such diverse fields?
Well, as you know, my profession is in medicine and public health. I dedicate myself during hobby, taking care of patients and see my patient twice a week to keep update with my field, and also doing the social work and healthcare in the community, so that to keep me alive with my passion, what I'm doing. But what I like in real life is in education, and I find that during my career span, I work mostly in education field. So by the time I know that education is eventually is part of my life. So when coming to Cambodia, volunteer as a medical doctor and doing fellowship in integrated management of childhood illness, we call IMCI. After 1 year of fellow, and I end up going back to education again. So start schools, business, and eventually it become to this day. So I still keep work in both the medical field and the social work, and also in education. So trying to balance both ways, but one is work and one is hobby. Yes.
Right, right. In terms of that, you mentioned that your personal educational background is in medicine, and you do have twice a week you'll meet your patients. Do you have other plans to go further into the business of the medical field, or are you more focused on like education?
Well, as you know, we have 13 medical student health centers. So as you know, we have 13 student health centers throughout the campuses. And right now we have 20 campuses, and another 4 coming up within this year. By September, we will launch 4 more. And that will be another 2 student health centers. So there will be 15 student health centers. And this student health center sees students throughout all campuses, over 21,000 students, plus staff and also family and parents from outside. So we've been involved in healthcare from day one, and hopefully we plan to expand into medical center, and we already in the process of designing a medical center, first in Mao Zedong here campus, and eventually venture into the sector fully. And but we get used to it. We have experience, and we've been implementing it since day one.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing to hear how you combine all your different involvements in different fields together. That's really amazing.
Well, as they said in different countries, education always go with health. You cannot have a school without a student health center. So it's necessary to combine two together.
Yes, that's very, very true. So now, if you look back at your whole career, what do you think was your most significant accomplishment personally, and what future goals do you also hope to achieve?
Wow, looking back for the past 19 years since coming to Cambodia, I start with 2 building complex school with 4 student, 5 staff, and now I have 29 building school building, and with over 3,000 staff and over 21,000 students. So that is a big accomplishment for me, and eventually led this company onto a listed company in stock market on the main bourse. And at the same time, we have founded a foundation, the MJQE Foundation, that has helped people throughout Cambodia, more than 500,000 right now. And it's known throughout Cambodia as one of the foundations that's helping Cambodia in disaster, in healthcare, in food banking, blood banking, and different areas to make sure that people are being helped, and we do what we can to contribute and be part of the government support. So I'm very proud of what we're doing so far, and what we're doing so far has been very successful, and I hope that we continue to be successful in the near future. Answer to your second question, in the near future, I hope to continue to expand school and eventually venture into university and medical school and international school and special needs school. There's a lot of schools that Cambodia still need to have, and there's a lack of special needs school in Cambodia, and also TVET. In every country, you cannot not have TVET. Cambodia is the same like other countries. You need skilled worker to work in different skill labor force. And right now, there's not enough TVET schools that are available for students in all fields, blue collar, white collar, pink collar, and labor forces. We still have a shortage of labor skill. And right now, we focus on university. And university are right now more on the social and liberal science, but not much on science. So in technology, engineer, and so on. We need to continue to expand the STEMs more and TVET more. And I see that MJQ education hopefully will venture into those areas in the near future.
Right, of course. Then just for my final question, what advice would you like to give to young entrepreneurs and aspiring leaders here in Cambodia who are just now starting out their careers?
I always tell young Cambodians that do not rush into doing business. Pay attention to learning, pay attention to working to get experience. Try to know what you find out your passion and explore your passion. Get experience and knowledge in your passion. If you're interested in computer, learn computer, go to college, finish a degree, and then start working to get experience. Work long enough to become expertise in the field, and then make a business out of it. So be sure not to rush. Yeah, find your passion, know what you're interested in. Go to school, study it, and then work to get experience. At least 2-3 companies, 4-5 year experience before you come and open a business in that area. And that's how successful people does. They do go through a lot of processes. But young kids in Cambodia, they feel that young entrepreneur is at 19, 20, 25, and they start business, they chip in money and be partner, and eventually they go bankruptcy. And almost 8 out of 10 going bankruptcy, and they waste a lot of money, and it's a setback for the young kid. So to me, I keep telling them that no rush into business. Your time is a lot ahead of you. You have plenty of time to explore, to study, to learn, to enjoy and experience what is around you. And make sure that you absorb as much as possible, learn as much as possible, explore and what is available around you before you set foot into business.
Right, that's very solid advice. Thank you so much for sharing all these insights into your life and career. It was really fascinating to hear about, and we really appreciate you giving us the time today. Thank you so much.